internet, well, pretty much broke. On November 18th, 2025, a problem at one single company spiraled out of control, and for a couple of hours, it honestly felt like the digital world was just grinding to a stop. So we're going to break down exactly what went wrong, why it happened, and what it all says about this thing we rely on every single day.
I mean, it sounds like something out of a movie, right? Just picture it. You go to open an app, you try to search for something, you want to send a message, and you get nothing. It's not your Wi-Fi, it's not your phone. The internet itself just feels gone. Well, on this day, that hypothetical nightmare became a reality for millions and millions of people.
And look, this wasn't some tiny, obscure corner of the web. We are talking about the absolute titans. The AI tools we use for work, the social platforms where we all hang out, the games we play, the music we listen to, even the online stores we shop at, they all just vanished. All at the exact same time. The question on everybody's mind was, how is that even possible?
To figure that out, we've got to go back to the beginning. We need to reconstruct the entire timeline of this collapse, minutes by painful minute.
You know, it didn't start with a big explosion. It started with a whisper. At 11:17 a.m. Universal Time, the first little red flag was Cloudflare's own support website having issues. Kind of ironic. But just 3 minutes later, their systems detected a huge, and I mean massive spike in weird traffic. By 11:48, they knew they had a big problem and had to go public. And from that point on, it was an all-out 2-hour scramble for their engineers to try and pull a giant piece of the internet back from the edge.
And this was the first official word that went out, investigating widespread 500 errors. Okay, standard stuff. But that last part is the real kicker. Dashboard and API are failing. That is a hugely important clue we're going to come back to, because it means the very engineers trying to fix the problem couldn't get into their own systems to do it. They were locked out, just like the rest of us. The public reaction? Oh, it was immediate. It was overwhelming. In less than 20 minutes, more than 11,000 reports flooded into Downdetector. This wasn't some slow-burning issue. It was like a switch was flipped, and everyone, everywhere, felt it at the same time.
And here's where things get almost funny, in a terrifying sort of way. Where does everyone go when the internet breaks? Downdetector, right? Well, so many people rushed there that Downdetector itself started to fall over. Because, you guessed it, it also relies on Cloudflare. The very website designed to report on the problem was a victim of the problem. You just can't make this stuff up.
So this really gets to the heart of the mystery, doesn't it? How can one company's bad day cause this enormous domino effect that wipes out a huge chunk of the internet for everyone?
The answer is a piece of technology called a CDN, or Content Delivery Network. Now, the simplest way to think about a CDN is like the highway system of the internet. It has servers all over the globe, so when you want to visit a website, it delivers the content from a server that's physically close to you. That's the secret sauce that makes everything feel so fast and snappy. And understanding this difference is absolutely critical. Let's stick with that highway analogy. If one website's server goes down, that's like a single driveway being blocked. It stings for the person who lives there, but everyone else can still get around. But when the CDN fails, that's not a blocked driveway. That's every single highway, bridge, and on-ramp in the entire country instantly disappearing. The websites themselves, they were totally fine, but there was literally no road to get to them. Okay, so we know the highways were blocked. Now, let's put on our detective hats and dig into the technical clues to figure out exactly what caused this massive, internet-wide traffic jam in the first place.
So if you were online that day, you probably saw this super unhelpful error message, HTTP 500. It makes it sound like the website you're trying to visit is the one that's broken. But here's the thing, it wasn't. The website was fine. The problem was with the middleman, Cloudflare. That digital handshake, that first hello between the network and the server, was just failing over and over and over.
So what triggered all this? The official cause was a spike in unusual traffic, which is a little vague. But when we dig in, we find other clues. For one, there was maintenance going on in 3 different data centers, which could have meant the network was already a little weaker than usual. And here's a big one. To try and fix things, engineers had to shut down Cloudflare's own VPN service. That's a huge hint that the VPN itself might have been pouring gasoline on the fire. And this right here, this is the detail that turned a really bad problem into a full-blown crisis. The control plane was down. That's the dashboard, the set of tools that IT admins at Spotify and Discord use to manage everything. It went dark. So just imagine being an engineer at one of those companies. You know the main highway is closed, and you want to redirect your traffic to a side road, but the control tower that lets you do that is also on fire. You were completely and utterly helpless. Okay, so if we zoom out from all the technical jargon, what does this one event really tell us about the internet we've all built? When you put all the pieces together, you really see it was a perfect storm. It starts with this giant traffic spike, hitting a system that was maybe already a little fragile for maintenance. Then, another service starts making the problem even worse. So to protect itself, the network does the only thing it can. It slams the doors shut. And just like that, a huge slice of the internet just blinks out of existence. Let that sink in for a second. This one outage at one company was enough to literally stop AI research in its tracks, silence global conversations on social media, and freeze online shopping for thousands and thousands of businesses. It's just a stark reminder of how interconnected everything is, and honestly, how fragile our digital world can be. Which really leaves us with this one big final question. As our entire digital world comes to lean more and more on just a handful of these huge foundational pillars, what's the plan? This time, the pillar cracked, but they managed to fix it. What happens on the day one of them doesn't just crack, but actually crumbles? It really makes you wonder, how do we build a stronger, more resilient internet for the future?